In 2004, then upcoming Chicago rapper Kanye West launched his hit single All Falls Down from his debut album The College Dropout. Arguably one of the most influential albums of all time, it challenged the current landscape of rap and changed the sound of hip-hop for generations to come. All Falls Down was released during a time of transition. Hip-hop, traditionally regarded as a genre focused on the themes of street life and the struggles of African Americans, was beginning to shift to a more mainstream, commercialized culture. All Falls Down reflects this shift by offering a commentary on the cultural values and consumerist tendencies that were prominent in the hip-hop industry and wider American society at the time. Using West's commentary, it can be asserted that in order to truly achieve the American dream, it is imperative for individuals to find intrinsic fulfillment and individuality, independent of the commonly associated aspects of material wealth and an upstanding social image. West brings about this assertion by analyzing the flaws of rap and pop culture, using various rhetorical strategies in order to appeal to his intended audience of young Americans. In order to better understand Kanye's message and lyricism, I met with rap connoisseur Aryan Chilakamarthi, a longtime friend and an expert on the American experience.
One of the most striking things that stood out to me was West's use of repetition. At the beginning of each verse, West repeats the phrase, "so self-conscious," alluding to the tendency of Americans to be overly focused on their image and appearance rather than finding true happiness and fulfillment within themselves. When he transitions from she to I to we all self-conscious, this really speaks to the universality of this experience.
West's repetition of this phrase truly hammers in the sense of uneasiness and insecurity within much of the young American population by demonstrating the adamancy in which many young Americans have in maintaining a quote-unquote perfect image of themselves.
When you look at the rest of the lyrics, you can see how West uses metaphors to reiterate the fact that money isn't everything. He goes, "We buy our way out of jail, but we can't buy freedom. We buy a lot of clothes, but we don't really need them." Looking at this line, West applies metaphor in the connection between money and the absence of freedom, as a way to emphasize the false reality of materialism, showing that material items and an upstanding image are not able to provide one with fulfillment.
By using the metaphor of quote-unquote buying things, West is able to speak in the language of his young American audience, a demographic that is already highly afflicted by consumerist ideals. At this point, it's pretty clear that money isn't the main aspect of the American dream. West really puts this into perspective when he states, quote-unquote, "It seems we live in the American dream, but the people highest up got the lowest self-esteem." He uses extreme diction when he says highest up, but immediately counters with the lowest self-esteem, as it shows how polar money and happiness truly are. This vivid language is able to draw attention to the message being conveyed, making it more memorable and persuasive to a young American audience encapsulated in the pursuit for wealth.
In fact, West uses negation when he says, "couldn't afford a car, so she named her daughter Alexis." This quote highlights West's critique on the American people and their focus on material items and lack of personal individuality, even going so far as to name their children's the name of luxury car brands. By doing this, he is able to use negation to tell what the American dream is not, which is able to show how finding intrinsic fulfillment is more valuable than living by the ideals of materialism.
These ideas of materialism can also be extended into a more contemporary art piece. In Our Friend Fluid Metal by Nancy Rubens, you can see many giant appliances and parts entrapped by one net in a single large-scale installation. This piece really transposes Kanye's perspective into a more physical form. The sheer scale and randomness of Rubens' piece is almost reminiscent of hoarding, a direct result of a consumerist, materialistic society. Not only does Rubens' piece criticize consumerism like West does, they both share the perspective that in order to achieve the American dream, it is more important to let loose and find individuality. When you aren't focused on the specific appliances and products that make up Rubens' piece, you can find yourself mesmerized by the enchanting nature of the artwork itself. Taken as a whole, it almost seems that all the pieces are in flux, with the different colorations creating a more vibrant and unique experience that evokes feelings of self-expression.
If you look at the postmodernist and contemporary art movements as a whole, I think you'll see even more similarities. Both West and postmodernists are highly experimental within their respective crafts, and often work against traditional norms. Also, they are both hyper-focused on originality and the individual experience.
Ultimately, West's commentary in All Falls Down highlights the importance of finding inner fulfillment and individuality by critiquing the popular belief that material wealth and an upstanding image are the key indicators of success. West encourages people to focus on their own unique qualities to achieve true happiness and satisfaction. In an environment where many Americans are overworked and hyper-focused on money, West's mindset is a refresher that can help improve the mental health of many young Americans.